It's Thursday, and the Eagles are a few days away from the first game of the season. And there's a lot to be concerned about. I was at practice on Wednesday, and I didn't like the fact that Lane Johnson didn't practice. You have Miles Sanders. I don't know if he's going to be ready to go. He's got a hamstring problem, which is really a major problem for a running back. If you had an offensive lineman with a hamstring problem, that's not a big problem because he doesn't have to do a lot of running where he's got to open up and really stride out. A running back has to run. He's got to really put pressure on his hamstrings. So I'm concerned about that. And I don't want to see that linger with Miles as the season goes along. So I think the Eagles need to lean towards setting him out this first game. They don't need a running back with a hamstring problem because that'll bother him all year if he doesn't get that taken care of. Another thing I'm really concerned about when it comes to injuries is Lane Johnson. He did not practice. He had his equipment on, but I don't know whether he's going to play. And if you don't have Lane Johnson there, they solved one of their problems at the left tackle position by moving Jason Peters out to left tackle. And I say they solved it. They kind of solved it. Jason is not the same guy he was 10 years ago. So I don't expect him to be dominant over there. I expect him to be good. Good will be good enough because their options are not good. So you got Jason Peters at left tackle, but you might not have Lane at right tackle. And this Redskin defensive line is one of the best in the NFL. Now, a lot of people don't look at the Washington football team and get all that excited, but I'm telling you, they got players on that defensive line. 4 number 1 picks. 4 of them. These guys are still young. Of course, you got Chase Young, who's the second pick in the draft, and he can play. He's going to be coming off that side, and he's going to give Jason Peters a full day's work. Because he's got those fresh legs. He's probably 21, 22 years old, can run all day. He's strong. He's got size. He plays with a passion. Everything you want in a defensive end. And he's really kind of touted where people say maybe he's the best defensive end to come out in the last 10 years. We'll see all about that. But the kid can play. Bottom line, he can play. So Jason, if anything, might need some help over there at times. Because, he's 38 years old. So hopefully he'll stay healthy the whole time, the whole season. But we just want to get through this game. And so I want to see them run the ball. They need to run the ball at some of these guys, keep them honest. So you definitely got your work cut out there. And then you look inside, and they've got Daron Payne, another number 1 pick. He was drafted out of Alabama. And then you've got Jonathan Allen. So you got 2 number 1. Both of those guys are number 1 draft picks out of Alabama. You got those as a defensive tackles. That's going to mean you're going to have some problems in there. They got work to do to block those guys all the time. And then on the other side, you got Montez Sweat, who is a number 1 pick. He was drafted last year in the first round out of Mississippi State. Now, if Lane Johnson were playing, I would have no problem with Montez Sweat, okay? Because Lane could handle Montez Sweat. But I don't know if Lane is going to play. And then you're going to probably end up seeing, some of these young kids, okay? The young kid that they drafted, Jack Driscoll, okay? A 4th round pick. And this kid looks like he can play. But this would be his first game. He hasn't played in the NFL. This is the big boys. You got guys that are faster than anybody he's ever seen. They'll be coming around that corner. And the game will be faster. He's got a lot more to think about. It's more complicated than it was in college. So the first game is a lot for the guy to swallow, before he's mastered the NFL game and where he really understands everything. But it looks like they might have to go with him because Lane did not practice. Now, a guy that doesn't practice on Wednesday, a lot of times he's not going to play. So we'll see about Lane. But right now, I don't know if Lane Johnson's going to play. And all of the problems with blocking this defensive line the big problem I have, the thing that's going to keep Doug Peterson up at night and also going to keep Howie Roseman and all the Eagles people, Carson Wentz is going to be behind this line, and I don't know that they're going to be able to block these guys effectively all afternoon long. Chances are they aren't. And so when they don't block them well, what does Carson do? Does Carson pull the ball down and try to take off running and try to be superhero? Is he going to try to save the game on his own? You know, that's his personality. That's what Carson likes to do. But he can't do that this week. He's got to throw the ball away. I want to see maturity from Carson. Carson, we need you for the entire season. You don't have to be Superman. That's not your job to be Superman all the time. You can pick your spots, but you got to think about throwing the ball away. Don't get hit by these guys. That's the thing. You don't need to be taking shots from these guys. They're all about 270, 280, and they get a running start at you. It's going to take some brutal hits. And so you want to throw the ball away, Carson. That's the thing that's got to happen this week. First option is covered. Second option is covered. Throw the ball away, Carson. That's what he's got to do. And he's got to get in the habit. And I'd like to see him do it at practice. It's not there, throw the ball away. That's the way Tom Brady does. Because Tom Brady knows he's not outrunning anybody. So he looks for his first option, second option, maybe even third option. And then he's throwing the ball in the ground. Because he knows he cannot outrun any of the defensive linemen in the NFL. You know, these guys, yeah, they're 280, but they can run. And so this is what I want to see out of Carson, because we do not need Carson to go down in the first game. And if anything, this is the kind of setup, because the offenses are behind the defenses. The offenses have not had a lot of time to work, and timing is going to be sketchy. You're also going to have guys getting off the ball late because they're not used to hearing the snap count. Thankfully, there won't be as much noise, but, you know, they got that piped-in noise. But I just don't trust rookies, you know. This kid, Jack Driscoll, you know, I've seen the youngsters get in the huddle, and they got those big eyes. And, you know, this guy's scared. You're looking and say, Coach, I don't know if such and such is ready. And then they look at the tape and see that the kid just froze on the first couple of plays. That happens to young players. So they've got to realize that they need to get a running game going against Washington. You need to get a running game going, because that will make things a lot easier for them. Don't try to come out throwing the ball every play. And I know Doug likes to throw the ball. He needs to have an assistant coach there in his ear and say, Coach, run the ball, because they better not get pass happy, because they're going to have problems blocking this line. You know, these are all outstanding defensive linemen, everyone they have out there, and they're going to have trouble blocking them. But if you run the ball at them, at least that keeps them honest. You can't just have pass, and you're going to have problems, because they're going to have problems anyway. But Carson's got to know, look, Carson, we don't need 35 points against these guys. If we could score 17 points, they will beat the Washington football team. Because Washington is only going to score 10 or 13 maybe. You know, if the defense plays decent. Now, if the defense gives up 20 points, the Eagles got a good chance of losing the game. There's no way they should be giving up 20 points against a Washington offense that hasn't played in the game yet. They got a second-year quarterback who still, you know, still got a snotty nose. The kid, he's a kid. You know, you look over there. Come on, young quarterbacks, they don't get it. It takes a while for them to understand what's going on. Now, I'll tell you, I can remember John Elway in his rookie year. We played him over at the Veterans Stadium. He's lining up under the guard. I mean, he doesn't even know. Come on, look at this dude. He's lined up under the guard because he was thinking about so many things, and they have so many more things to think about on the pro level than you do on the college level. Now, this is John Elway, a Hall of Fame quarterback, lining up under the guard, and somebody had to tell him, dude, move over to the center. You know, but this happens with young players, and that's where Dwayne Haskins is. So I don't expect a lot out of Dwayne Haskins. He's still learning the game. Now, he's talented. Eventually, he's going to be a good quarterback, but he's not there yet. So they're not going to score that many points. The big thing the Eagles have to do is take care of the football. That means, Carson, don't be taking too many chances. If the guy's covered, throw the ball away. He also does not need to be getting hit a lot by this defensive line. All these guys are, 270, 280. And if you got a big guy, 280 pounds landing on you, a lot of times something's going to snap. Especially Carson has been prone to injury. He doesn't have the kind of body that can take all those hits. So Carson, just throw the ball away.